Hey, how you doing, Steve?
What's up, man?
How you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good, healthier, feel better.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? How you doing?
A little tired. Just got off of work a
Yeah,
little while ago. Um,
that's what's up.
I just take a little quick nap, and but I'm here.
That's what's
It
up,
looks like
man.
we got some people here with us today.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Who's in here? Corey Dorable's in there.
Looks like we got some people here with us
Uh
today.
oh. Let me turn it down.
All right. I don't like to hear myself talk.
Really, you gotta get used to it, boy. You'll learn today.
All
So,
right. It looks like what'd you say? We got Corey Dorabo,
yeah,
Berto's in here, Raphael,
yeah. Poseidon's in
Kush.
here.
Kush, I hope you're feeling better. Um,
Yeah.
he was a little bit under the weather. Let's see. Hold on. Who else do we have here?
Audra
Uh,
Myers in here.
Audra. Hello,
Yeah.
Audra.
Yeah,
Uh,
I already know. I appreciate the lurking, Audra. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
dedication.
Laura's here.
Hey, Laura.
Aura Victoria. We got Ciclet, Aquarius. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here on this Saturday with us.
Yep.
Um, I know there's a lot of things to do on a Saturday, and you guys taking time to be here with us really is really important to us, and we thank you for that. So, all right, Steve. So we got a little show today.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little different than the last two we've done. This is going to be our first time that we're going to be having on somebody for
This is
as a
killing
guest,
me.
and so you know, I know some of you guys have seen the thumbnail and you know who we
Yeah,
have
it's like
backstage,
bothering me.
and we'll bring him up in just a little bit. As you guys know, Aqua Funk is here with us. Um, you know, and for me, it's kind of a special deal to have him on personally, not only as a friend but as a mentor.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for Jason, I don't think I'd be doing this. If it wasn't for his
Are you serious?
push, yeah, because he's the one that really encouraged me uh, to start putting content up on YouTube. And granted, this is we hadn't even at the time he hadn't even seen my tanks.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't. He didn't. I didn't have anything up. I didn't even have a like when most people start. We'll do a video of just a tank and just a still, almost like a still shot, but
Right.
it's a recording and there's no talking and nothing like that. I didn't even have any of that um, at the time, and and like I've told in the past and some other streams, it all started in one of his live streams. We started chatting back and forth. I let him know that I was doing something pretty interesting, and from that is how I guess Mexicali Fish Keeper is born.
Hey, that's
Um,
what's up.
so that's why it's kind of other than him being a friend
Mm-hmm.
and being a mentor. That's why it's pretty exciting to have him on, especially as our first guest in this stream that we're
Yeah.
doing. So, anything interesting happened to you this week?
Uh, no. It rained.
Hmm.
It's summer's almost here, man. One more month, you know. Summer's over. It's August. And then we go into the September and all that good stuff. So yeah. But going back to what you were saying about Aqua Funk, same thing. I've been knowing him for a little while now. Um I think the video that started it all was like he hit me up. He was like, "Yo," and then it went from there because I was on a video talking about a topic with fish keeping Jamaica. He did a little series thing, you know.
Okay.
Shout out to the homie Raleigh if he watching this. And then he tracked me down and he was like, "Yo, man," and then it went from there. And yeah, so let's bring him up, man. I think that's what the people are waiting for.
Okay.
Let's go ahead,
Well,
man.
before we bring him up, it's just one of the reasons why we're doing this, and well, there's a couple of things that I want to talk to address first before we bring on Jason. The first one is I've had some comments and some people ask me because there's a little bit of confusion as to when we're streaming and how we're streaming. So I want to address that first. The idea is that we want to do this every other week. So we're going to be a bi-weekly stream. And the real reason behind that is because Steve and myself, um, although we really do enjoy the hobby, we have lives, and you have to find a
Yeah,
balance. I mean,
mainly put.
you know, every just like in our fish tanks, everything needs balance. And for me to
That's
be able
true.
to do this, I need to have some balance. And I can't, as much as I love doing this, and as much as I enjoy doing this, and being on streams and doing all that,
Hmm.
um, it will. I've noticed when we were trying to get this up and running, I was like 100%, and I'm not living on my own. I have a partner, and my wife, and just like I do things that I've got to dedicate time to the fish room and to work and to so my time is very compartmentalized, that I also have to have time for her. And that's kind of one of the reasons my family and my wife is one of the reasons why I don't see us doing this every week,
Right.
because this is a commitment. It's a commitment, and if you're trying to do things right, and have something worthwhile giving, because it is people's time that we are consuming, um, it's important that I'm 100% behind what we're doing. So that's one of the reasons. That's my reason. I know Steve might have a similar opinion, but I'll let him tell you.
It's the same thing. Here, let me get that. Let me get that right. 'Cause, like the glare's bothering me, y'all. I'm sorry. It's the same thing. People have lives. That's why it's called a hobby. And like with me, like my hobby is, you know, selling plants. You got to grow them. You got to take care of them. And I have other things going on. But it really is about getting on the internet and putting out quality. Right now we're just cleaning the house. We're not going to be here to give a lecture or, oh, woe me is the world. But that's the schedule. That's why it's the schedule in a nutshell. If it grows to something, it does. And if it not, it's still a good show.
Yeah.
I think
So
we've done enough.
yeah, and so that's why we're going to be on every other week. I do have to put this out there because I do work a real interesting schedule. It's a revolving schedule, and I work 3 shifts. I work days, swings, and nights.
Mm-hmm.
And there might be an occasion where if I'm working swings, I might not be able to pull the the Saturday stream. So there might be an occasion where Steve might be going solo, or vice versa. That Steve might have
Right.
something that comes up. And I just wanted to put out there so that when it does happen, it's not that we're upset at each other, or we're going solo or anything like that. It's
Oh,
just
grown ass man. What I look like get mad at you, boy?
no. I know us, but I'm just talking about people in general in the public.
Oh, you. I'm just saying, like, come on. Like, we not even going to do that. Like, we do like
So
a,
so
what,
that's so that was the
charity
one the
boxing
one
event.
thing.
We beat each other ass in the ring. The brown versus the blacks.
Yeah. So that was the one. The other thing is,
Oh,
why
that's funny.
why is Aqua Funk here? And I
Right?
want to I want to touch that on a little bit. I know a lot of us know Jason or Aquafunk from his channel.
Channel.
We know him very well as being very charismatic, very funny, very hyper, very on the go. But I really wanted to bring Jason on because there's another side of Aquafunk that, even though he's talked about, not a whole lot of people are aware of what he's doing, and that's his community outreach. And I think that is something that's very interesting to me, and I think it's very important because it's very relatable what he's doing to
Yeah.
my situation when I was growing up, and I wish something like that made might have been around or wish was around. But I think that what he's doing is something that is worth noting, and he needs to have that out there so that he can, have people help, that want to support him with his outreach, that they can do that. And they can see that, as much as Jason is funny and charismatic, that he also
Mhm.
is caring and very serious.
That's right.
And this is a very nice thing that he's doing, and I think people should know that about him. So that's the reason Aqua Funk is here today, because we want to talk about that a little bit more, and get it some
Hmm.
exposure. Looks like Drew's with us now.
Yeah, we got some more people in the building. Let's see, Fishy Biz in here. Um, Legendary Florida Man up in here. Who else in here that we didn't already? You already shouted out everybody else. Come
Yep.
on, man. Let's go ahead and bring Funk on up. I'm gonna let you do it.
All righty.
It's
Well,
your
here we
thing.
go.
All
Without
right.
further ado, let's bring the man, the myth, the legend,
Look
Jason.
at
What's
you
up? What's
good here.
good? How y'all guys doing today?
How you
Real
doing,
good.
bro? It's good to see you, man.
I'm glad. I'm happy you guys had me on. I'm honored that I'm your first guest. Um, and all this nice stuff y'all talking about me. I'm not good with the mushy stuff, so let's ease up with that. Let's ease up with that.
No,
I don't
no,
even
no. You
like
see,
you, Brad. I'm just
that's
I
saying
like
exact.
the
you
truth
either.
is the truth. Hey,
That's
bro, what's my
exactly why
shame?
you're on, because
What's my
we know how
shame?
you are. We know
No,
that you don't like having the attention on you.
exactly.
So it's time. It's time that you get highlighted, buddy.
Well, I appreciate that, and I appreciate that you want to talk about my aquarium giveaways. But before we get started, everybody, right now, if you in the chat right this moment, put this link out on. If you have a community page, put it out on your community page. If you have a Facebook, everybody got Facebook. Put it out on your Facebook right now. Let's turn this chat into a party. Um, I'm gonna get serious because that's what these guys wanted me. They ain't gonna be a whole lot of clown. I'm gonna try. I'm putting it that way. I try not to clown,
You be
but it's
all
hard.
right.
It's gonna be hard. All right.
Don't worry about
No,
it.
we don't want you to be who you're not. I mean,
No, I got you. I got you. Y'all, I know exactly.
You're
And,
safe here
and
with
one
us.
and one other
but
thing, I'd like to give two little shout outs real fast. Fishy Biz Aquatics for what he's doing in his classrooms. I'm a little bit jealous that he has access to directly the type of people that I'm looking for, but he's right there in it. And Legendary Florida Man, that's where I'm at right now. In fact, I'm at his house.
That's what's
Um,
up.
I just needed some bro time. You know what I'm saying? So I came over here, and that's where I'm doing the live from. So shout out Legendary Florida Man. Go over there and check him out. Fishy Biz, Mexicali, and Warrior Planet Tanks. All y'all, appreciate y'all.
That's what's up, man. So how you liking it over there at Legendary Pad? You seeing some
I'm gonna
cool stuff?
I'm gonna tell you the truth. For those of you who don't know Legendary Florida Man, first of all, he's a good dude. That's why I even rock with him. To begin with, he got a bunch of things going on. He
See that bite you in the
breathes.
background, swimming over
He,
your shoulder.
yeah, he breeds and raises axolotls, and he's always out native collecting tilapia, all kinds of stuff.
That's dope.
All kinds of stuff. So I can't even explain his channel because it's just if you into nature and stuff like that, just check him out. Check him out. You ain't gonna be sorry. But he's a good dude. He's gonna do me a tat one of these days. Whenever we find time, he's gonna hook up this arm right here. He drew it out and everything. I'm a live streaming. I ain't good with pain, so y'all gonna love it.
did you decide what you're gonna get? I know that you had put that out in the members only,
Well,
and you were kind of thinking about it.
what I decided for the tat was to let him do what he wanted to do. He knows me well enough. I trust him well enough. And if I want him to be excited about what he does. So he went ahead, he drew some stuff up. I gave him some inspiration as far as my part goes, but
Mhm.
it's all him. We just need to jot down the time.
Right.
But when I do, I'm a live stream it.
No, okay.
I might step on a couple people because it's going to take a couple hours, but it's good. I don't know. Sorry.
Well, no, no.
There's no such thing as stepping on it. You want to
Yeah,
go
I
first
know.
because I'm about to tear that ass up.
okay. Yeah, I'm glad you
Don't get
brought
it,
that
George.
up.
Bring some reason back to it. Let me calm down. I'm gonna
Well,
drink some water.
here's what I think it was Matt that was having a live stream. Matt from Liquid Fish, and he was talking, and it's true. It's a good problem to have, and the reason I say that is because obviously our our community is growing. That's why I'm saying it's a good problem to have. It's growing. More people are that were just lurking, behind the streams and doing their own thing, even though they were watching. I'm being one of those persons.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, we're always at the situation where I was like, oh, I don't want to stream because I might be stepping on somebody. But the reality is, um, this community is growing every day, and the upside of that is there's room for everybody. And that whole trying to respect the schedule, if you try to do that right now, there's no way you're ever going to be able to stream without, running at the same time as somebody else. It's just too, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. I think that's excellent that there's so many of us out there streaming.
That's right.
Because everybody, what happens now is there's so many of us that you can stream and you're going to get people to come over and watch what you're doing. And if they enjoy the content that you're having or the entertainment you're providing, they'll stick around. If not, then they have other options where they can go. So that aspect of it, I know Garrick was also had recently a comment about that and not trying to. It's to the point now where if you go to the calendar and you look, there's very few hours that are still available to be able to stream. And right now, if you're coming on and you're not trying to step on anybody, you're either going to have to go very very late at night or extremely early in the morning. So I take no offense to the fact that somebody else might want to stream at the same time that we are, because at the end of the day, the people that are coming to you is because they want to see what you're putting out. So with that, I don't know what you want to add, Steve.
I'm trying to be as calculated as possible because it's a responsibility, right? And that's why we're doing what we're doing here, us three, because we're gonna walk the walk. So like, live by example, by virtue. So like, it's not my fault if other people choose to live vicariously through what I'm doing. But at the end of the day, when I choose to share it, that's my damn decision. And as consenting adults, I think we should all be cognizant of that fact. At the end of the day, it just boils down to respect. And there's no need to reiterate what you said, because if somebody watching you, it's because they want to. It's that simple. Let's
Yep,
go ahead and let Jason get on into that good stuff you doing about them cheering, because that's what the people came here to watch. Literally.
exactly.
Don't worry about it, Jason. We want to see it. If it take 3 hours, 17 minutes, who cares? If I
Well,
choose to invest that time in something, obviously I'm getting value from it. So at the end of the day, like, see, this is what happens when you take something that's precious to people and you politicize it. See, like, I'm a veteran, so I'm just going to call it straight. This is politics. There's too many chiefs and not enough Indians. And at the end of the day, like, I was thinking about that earlier today. Just like, well, who said this or this? Or, like, I was feeding my fish. I was outside feeding the fish in the grow out. And I was feeding them that Wardley. And I remembered the comment I said on my video about feeding my cichlids and stuff Wardley goldfish flakes because it's 29% protein. And I thought about the comment that I made on the video to myself of like, who said you could do that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's damn near 30% protein. In a pinch, it'll do. And then, like, I thought about it, and just like this voice popped in my head, and it was like, I said it, you know, bitch, I said it. I don't need to be. The relevance is the fact that I'm successful. I don't need to be like elevated by the peanut gallery based on their experiences. I'll respect them at varying degrees based on what that experience is and how much respect it warrants. And like we got to be cognizant of the fact we get to choose that. So yeah, that's what I got to add. Let's go on with the show, man.
Okay.
I said
All
it.
right.
Y'all got to remember that. Be your own authority, man. Don't let tyrants run you. That's what we
100%.
fight for, man. It's just a veteran me.
100%.
Happy 4th of July, by the way.
Oh yeah, you too. You too. You too. You too.
Yeah,
So
you're good.
you guys, I know you guys want to talk about my giveaway, and I appreciate that. It is what is it? It's a pet project of mine. It means a lot to me, actually. Recently, I just gave away a 10-gallon aquarium to a single mother with 2 children that live at the house. She has older children, but she has 2 that live at the house. One is he's 13 years old with autism, and her problem was, and this is a problem that is one of the reasons why I started my channel. It's the idea of certain people in the industry telling other people they can't, to make themselves, like, to elevate their own, inflate their own egos. They would say, oh, you can't do this. Only a select few like us can do this, and you can't do this. So that's one of the reasons why my channel exists, and I just wanted to take it past. Look, so we all do YouTube. All us YouTubers watch other YouTubers. Da 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 da. At some point, it's like a circle jerk. You know what I mean? Everybody's just doing videos for other video creators, and I'm like, what's the point? Why are you preaching to the choir? I've never wanted my channel. Now, even though I appreciate in my comment section all these other channels, watching my videos, I call them the circle people. That's where you just have a circle with a letter. I wanted non-YouTubers to come to my channel to learn some stuff. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing I can tell either one of you about fish that you probably don't already know. So the idea of telling you stuff you already know made no sense to me. I wanted to talk to people who don't know, who are looking for. And with this, what I do now, it takes it beyond the internet into real life, So I feel it's more impactful. It's actually more rewarding than you doing YouTube. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, I love my channel. I do. I love everybody who visits. But this last video, I did the entire video. Well, first of all, ain't a whole lot of footage. There's some footage. But the purpose of me going to somebody's house and teaching them how to take care of an aquarium, giving them fish and all that, it's about that. It's not about the video, right?
Jason, can you expound on that, please? Like how it's more about the actual intimate experience of sharing that experience and teaching, not so much about documenting it and making like poverty porn for clout, because that's essentially what it is. And I want to be responsible.
Yeah, and that was a very difficult thing. I wrestle with that because I'm a YouTuber. So by nature, I want to film everything. But in this particular case, it's not about YouTube. It's about that individual and enhancing that home, and all the lives in the home, right? And I feel like having a camera up in somebody's face who's not used to that, took their attention away, or took away from the experience, the one-on-one. Hey, hold up, wait, let me get this shot. And hold up, wait, let me get this shot. It was I felt like that's more self-serving than what I intended. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh, I need to, how can I make myself look better on YouTube? So I try and document as much as I can, as long as it doesn't take away from what I'm doing. And that's more important to me, than having them be successful is what it's about. And if I don't get 1 ounce of footage, I ain't gonna care. I
Right.
tell them that. I said, look, I tell these people, I would like to film it so that I can, grow the project,
Right.
but it's totally up to you. If you don't want to be filmed, if you don't want to say a word, if you don't want me to film a wall in your house, that's fine with me. So, it's difficult. It's difficult as a YouTuber not documenting something fish related is difficult, because I know if I did it right, I could get views, right? I could get big, I could be a superstar. But now I'm using somebody else's misfortune for my own purposes. Nah.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you something. How does the idea of doing this? How does this come about? What it I guess inspired you to do this?
All right, so back in 2000, when I got out of the Army, right, I picked up a part-time job at a pet store, at a fish store. Started out in reptiles, by the way, but being that I was, the reptile department and the fish department is always so close, the customers automatically want you to help them regardless of what department you're in. So I had to learn about fish. So I got into fish that way. I actually started out a saltwater tank before freshwater, just because I felt like it was harder and I just wanted to challenge myself. Anyway, I would notice that a lot of the employees, and not to turn this into something, I don't want to turn this into something.
Talk your talk, man. You
So
good.
people got stereotypes, right?
Yeah.
I
Talk
noticed a stereotype where they would see a certain type of individual come in and be like, oh, they want feeders for their Oscar.
Yes.
Oh, this
No.
person, this person wants this. Well, I noticed that some of the minorities normally went towards the aggressive, the African cichlids, the South Americans. And it's true, and that's one of the reasons why I was so interested in Steve, because he broke that stereotype in my eyes. But and I started thinking, I said, why is that? Why do a lot of minorities, why don't they have aquariums in their home? It's way easier to maintain, cheaper than, let's say, a pit bull. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of pit bulls in the projects. I've seen them, I had them. But why is that? And I think it's because aquariums is a luxury item, and a lot of minorities where I grew up, I'm not saying this is everywhere, this is my own experience, so please do not turn this into something it's not. This is my experience in my life. Didn't have extra money for luxury items, so we shied away from stuff like that, right? And as time went on, that idea of having an aquarium in the house was more of a white people thing. But these are all just the way we was raised. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, this is my experience. So I wanted to push aquariums for minorities because I know the benefits of aquariums. I'm not into aquariums because I want a wet pet. I'm into it because I enjoy the science of it, observing, the observation. And when there's an aquarium in the house, you get exposed to biology, oceanography, chemistry, nutrition. You get exposed to all that. And I feel like if some of the minority kids got exposed to some of this stuff, they would have aspirations to go on to do more than just what they see in everyday life. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, I want to expound on that. It's cool. It is luxury. A pet, period, is luxury.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough to grow up in the bricks here in Harris County in Houston, Texas. And then because of life just being unstable, life being life, the 80s, man. Ronald Reagan and them. I got tossed around relatives, tias, abuela, family. Takes a village. And I grew up in the country too. Hey, bro, you're not finna spend no money to feed nothing that don't serve a purpose. Okay? That's just how that goes. Point blank, period. So having a pet is a luxury. Like, people don't understand that, like, all them, 300-400 breeds of dogs, they had a purpose back in the day.
Yeah.
It wasn't, Fufu and Fifi and them. Pit bulls had a purpose. It was to generate revenue. It was to guard homes. It was to take care of children. It was to protect livestock. It was to be an alarm. So, like, here's the deal. It's not my fault that your information bias and lack of education fused together with your ego and your hubris causes you to make poor choices and poor judgment on people. It is not my responsibility to carry anybody's emotional bullshit, nor will I do so. So at the end of the day, this has to do with education, Jay. And as men, when do we choose to educate someone or operating in like grace and elegance, quote unquote, pick our battles as not to throw our pearls to swine? You know what I'm saying?
See,
Because what
that's the
you're doing is
that's
you're
the
doing
tough.
the thing. You're doing it. See, you
with,
are
with
doing it.
with me, I just felt I felt like, I keep asking these questions in general. I just ask them to the ether, like, why ain't nobody doing this? Why ain't nobody doing that? And in my head, I'm like, well, I'm over here not doing it either. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a hypocrite,
There you
you
go.
know?
That's why you said that.
So,
You're
so I
doing it.
was like, even if it's just, look, I wanted to do once a month. I wanted to. It
Mm-hmm.
hasn't turned out to do once a month. But I'm cool with that.
Right.
As long as the ones I do it are the ones that, um, are really deserving or quality. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of, while I'm on the subject, I gotta again give another shout out to Legendary Florida Man, because he's also doing this type. He just recently gave aquarium to a school. Was it what you do? What was that, Casper? What aquarium you gave out? So where? To Kids Community College. He gave out a 20 loan to Kids Community College out in Riverview, so he's doing it too. And in fact, for the sake of, he's probably going to help me do some of mine, and I'm going to help him do some of his giveaway, because he also does giveaways when he's just a giving person by nature. So I don't know if he necessarily has a program, or he's just a giving person. But so another shout out to Legendary Florida Man, because he's also doing it.
Shout out
And
to
I would love,
Legendary Florida Man.
yeah, I honestly, when I started this project, I thought to myself, well, okay, where is this gonna go? What's the goal? And I'm gonna tell you the truth. The goal is for all these YouTubers out here that talk the talk, walk the walk. So if I get a email, hey, Aqua Funk, and mind you, I keep saying single mothers, but it's for anybody who can use this in their home, where it will enhance anybody's life. I'm out here in Houston, and is there anything you can do for me out here? I can get you in contact with my man Steve, and he can do that for you.
Yep.
If he's willing. Oh, I'm out here in Yuma. I wish somebody could do something like what you're doing out there in Florida. I know a guy, Mexicali Fish Keeper. I'll get you in contact with him. Maybe he can, through his connects, get an aquarium and some fish together and do the same thing for you.
Hey.
And it'd be nice to have people all over the country just, giving aquariums, enhancing. Look, imagine this.
What you
15 years from now.
Yeah.
And I always use Neil deGrasse Tyson whenever I say this. Neil deGrasse Tyson has turned physics into, he's like a rock star, right? You know what I'm saying? Like this boring subject that everybody failed in high school. Well, he's making it cool because of his personality or whatever. Can you imagine 15 years from now, somebody pops up making aquariums mainstream cool, where they're on talk shows with Stephen Colbert or whoever, you know what I mean, on interviews talking about aquariums, and they go, you know what? Yeah, Neil deGrasse Tyson, he always shouts out his mentor, what's that guy's name? He shouts out a guy's name. I forget his name. But can you imagine him being like, yeah, hey, when I was a kid, I used to watch YouTube. I used to watch Aqua Funk, and he got me started. You know what I mean? Can you imagine that? It's too late for me. I mean, I'm 46 years old. You
It's
know,
not.
it's not too late, but the probability is you know what I'm saying? I should have
No,
started
Steve,
earlier.
that's why I was laughing at you earlier because this ain't scripted. But I had another question, and you just like literally walked right into it so perfectly. And my question is, you're not gonna have to change your train of thought. Watch,
Okay.
watch. I promise.
Okay.
How do you advocate what you're doing without capping? See what I'm saying?
It's
Exactly
hard.
what you already talking about. The networking, reaching out to the
Yeah.
homies. Okay, if you
Yeah.
get a little taste of a video, it's because you want to encapsulate that memory itself. But you're not
Yeah.
capping though. It ain't poverty porn. So how do you advocate without capping? There's your question. See?
It's difficult, man. And hopefully the people who watch me
Mm-hmm.
trust that my intentions, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's gonna be oh, this guy's trying to make a, trying to get big on YouTube through charities. It's human nature that people would think that, but I hope that the people who really know me know that that's not the case. You know what I mean?
Rollo,
Um,
good love.
and at the end of the day, regardless of what anybody thinks, that individual with the aquarium, as long as he's successful, that's he or she.
Right.
That's all I really care about is what they think.
That's all you worry about right there.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think your idea is fairly easy and reasonable to accomplish. And the reason I say that is because
It's
most,
not.
well, no. What I'm getting at, not the
Yeah.
idea of 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 uh, of what you're doing, but the fact that you said that you could reach out to other YouTubers.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to address.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because most of us who have more than one tank more than likely have a couple of 10-gallon tanks that are just
Yep.
kind of sitting there in the side
Yeah.
collecting dust. I know because I have 3 of them right now.
Yeah.
That I keep them around because I can use them as hospital tanks or for whatever, but you can always have an extra tank. So
Mm-hmm.
you reaching out to somebody within our community, that's what I'm saying. It's very possible because we could have the basic elements you would need to put together
Yeah.
to give to someone. And here's where you don't need to be worried about, oh, it's speed up, it's used, it's this and that. Because I remember growing up, I didn't have money for those things. I wanted a fish tank, but
Yeah.
our reality was a little bit different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like I shared with you guys in the past. I mean, growing up through high school, we lived in a converted garage with my whole family because we were trying to get by,
Yeah.
and we had to be stateside, and that was the way to do it. So there wasn't enough money to accommodate some of these luxuries because,
Uh-huh.
like Steve said, pets are a luxury because then you got to
Yeah.
provide for them. It's
Yeah.
not just keeping them. But anyways, going back to what I was saying, it's real simple because all it takes is all of us who have multiple tanks probably started out with a single air pump that's probably sitting there somewhere. We all have a 10-gallon tank that might have been our very first tank that we started with, and a sponge filter is easy to come by. So you
Lights
have
too.
the you
You
have the
lose
three.
champion.
Yeah, you have the fish don't need light. That's a misconception.
You,
Fish do
they
not need
don't,
light.
but we got them though. Sitting
Yeah,
around. You know I
okay,
do.
yeah, but I'm talking about the very, very basic,
I see.
rudimental equipment you're going to need to keep a fish alive. We have those. I guarantee you, any of us goes into wherever you have your tanks are probably going to find those 3 items, and that it can be very impactful and significant to somebody who's been wanting one and just is in a situation where they can't afford one. So yeah, what you were saying to being able to reach out within the community, creating a network, that's very possible. Now, what it's going to take is us to be willing to do it. That's all, because we all have the equipment.
And there it is right there. What you just said earlier. You grew up in a converted garage, your whole family. So you didn't have. Could you imagine? Now I'm just saying, just imagine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying because a lot of times thinking about changing, going in the past and changing your life, will change what you have now. I'm sure you're happy with your life now, but can you imagine as a young child growing up, not knowing, because you didn't know you had an affinity for aquariums back then,
right?
But what if your affinity or your passion for aquariums started way back then? Where would you be now?
Well,
what I mean? Possibilities open up when you experience.
And I think the affinity is there, but the affordability is a whole different story, because I can remember.
But that's what I'm saying. You couldn't afford it. But what if somebody went ahead and gifted you this and exposed you to that back then?
But see,
would you have gone on to college?
I can answer that for you.
Biology, oceanography. You know what I'm saying?
I can answer that for you right now, Jay. Like, for real. It's what you're told.
Yeah.
Those children are told they can't afford it. Yeah. They're told it's luxury. But then here it is, 20 years later, you got us three sitting up here feeling some kind of way because this jerk off has like 1 million subs and he's keeping freaking something in a tote bin some damn where, or in a tank he put together in his garage with like plywood and shit. And it's like, bro, we was doing that back in the cut because we was poor. I kept things in jars. Hey, man, poor is poor. You know what I'm saying? When you're eating your cereal out of a Cool Whip bowl and it's got like pinto bean stains in it, like you're not really trying to care.
Old country crop.
You know what I'm talking about? So, like, it's what they're told.
We're
better than that. So, like, my channel, that's what it says on the bio. I take gypsy style. That's my saying. I coined it because I'm a gypsy. You know? Yeah, bro. Stability, what's that? Mm-hmm. But it's like nature, though. It is impartial. It's an understanding. So, like, the events that led to it are unfortunate, but I'm kind of glad I got to grow up in the country for a few, like the majority of my formative years, when I was little. And I understand. You can't do something you don't understand. I don't care who you are or what you say. If you don't understand it, how are you going to do it and be successful? So, like, when you go give little homie a tank, you already know how I feel about that. Like my grand vision, like I'm going to have kids on the ground in the jungle. Watch what I tell you. And we're going to have college professors. It's going to be crowdsourced and crowdfunded, and it's in the works. Like, so you already know what time it is. And and not to sound cliche, but to give it back to you, if you build it, they will come. So, like, how do you forge ahead, right? And like share how like tanks, like the impacting people's lives and changing lives, like how that drives you. You know what I'm saying? Because like you think about when you was a little dude and then you see them, and I know we ain't trying to get mushy, but we men. That's why I got these on, boy. And like if you build it, they'll come, man. Expound on that, please.
All right. So this last giveaway I did, right? I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Trying to find people to get these aquariums so far in my experience has been difficult. You know what I mean? Whenever I put something out on Facebook, I got the wrong people. I got people going, "Hey, I need a tank because I need a sick tank so that the fish from my 3 other 125." No, bro, if you got 3 125s, you could kiss my butt. You don't need
scavenger. Scavenger, bro. Call it what it is. Ooh.
Yeah, and I had another person tell me, oh, I would love, to for you to come and give my son an aquarium. I was gonna buy him a 75, but if you could come, no, if you was gonna buy him a 75,
Don't
good
buy
thing.
one then.
Go ahead and get, so it's been very difficult. I found that it's easier for me to go on my live stream and say, please give me money because of
Don't say
me,
it right there.
because of no. Hold on. I know you're trying to say something real
Yeah.
fast, George, but this is the weird part that I've found of
Okay.
YouTube. If I went on my live stream, be like, listen, guys, I work hard at doing this YouTube thing, and hey, just go ahead and super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat, super chat. I'm sure there'll be a plenty of people that super chat so that I could say their name or something like that.
Right.
That's easier than going to somebody in need and having them admit that they need. It's easier for me to ask and get money for me personally
Yeah.
than to give somebody something, which I did not expect. I did not expect that at all. So when I do get one to do, after all the trouble trying to find somebody, well, now I already set a precedence with that person. I said I was going to do it. So now I have to actually do it. And sometimes you just don't feel like, you come home from work, you're tired, and it's like, oh, I got to get this tank together. All that goes away when you're at that person's house.
Yeah.
And you see that kid or that person, the thanks on that person's face. This last one, I ain't gonna lie. The little dude, the older kid was named Kai. The younger kid, I didn't even know he was there. He was asleep the whole time, popped up at the last minute, and he was all excited. Zion was his name, and he saw the tank, and he just, he would make all kinds he was just so happy. And I was on the ride home, and I felt something that made all that other stuff go away.
I
Go
was
ahead,
gonna ask
George.
you something about that right there. Now
Yeah.
you're gonna stay right there.
Hold
Get
up.
mushy. Do you
What's
feel guilty? Do you feel guilty? Or like you feel like a jerk? Cause like, like, damn man, I don't feel like doing this. I shouldn't have told him that. Whoop de whoop. And then you see him happy like that. And on the ride home, before you feel good about it, you be like, man, see, look, I'm glad I did it.
I don't feel like a jerk. It makes me feel glad that I did it. I don't feel like a jerk. I feel like a jerk when I think I'm on the couch at home being like,
Yeah.
man, I gotta go clean them rocks, man.
You're
I
a
feel
good
like a
man.
jerk then.
You should. You should.
Right then.
You're a good
Yeah.
man. Hey, bro, you gotta have love in your heart, or you're not a good man. That's just
Yeah.
the truth.
All right,
Well,
George, what's up?
yeah, no. Getting back to why it could be so difficult to be able to find people that are willing to take this, and this is coming from my memory as a kid, and watching my parents. The problem when you're poor, or you don't have the money, or you don't have the resources, is that um, just because you're poor doesn't mean you don't have any pride. And what I'm getting at is when you're in those situations, the last thing you want to do is you know kind of putting your business out there and wanting to take hand downs, because you're the situation you're in and you want to get ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I find that I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but I know that growing up, you weren't going to be asking other people to help you out.
No.
You were going to figure out within your family how you guys were going to get ahead. And one of the things that we were always told growing up is, okay, you want it, if you really want something, there's a way you can go out, make a little bit of money to be able to get what you want. And that was always instilled by our dads. You can go cut some yards, you can go wash some cars, you can go do all these other things if you really want it. So
Mm-hmm.
the people you're trying to reach who are really going to benefit from this probably would want it. And I know there's a whole other responsibility of maintenance and care and all that stuff, but just the basic, them willing to say, yes, can you help me? Because asking for help is probably one of the hardest things we as people, get stuck on. We get hung up
Mm-hmm.
on, whether it's, in a situation like this for tanks, or just even in your own personal life, your own feelings and all that. It's just the hardest thing that we can do as an individual is to reach out and ask for help. That's why when we get the opportunity to help somebody, it feels so good.
Right.
There's nothing that feels more, I guess, enriching for lack of.
It's
more
empowering,
fulfilling,
bro. It's
more
empowering.
satisfaction
Yeah.
than being able and doing it from the right place. Not doing it because, oh, watch, people are going to see that I'm doing this, and then it's going to make me, it's gonna make me more popular. No, I'm talking about the acts that we do that nobody else knows about. Those acts of kindness, the kind where you're doing it because you really want to help, not because you
Hmm.
want to feel good about doing something. Uh,
And the,
Go ahead.
the acts of kindness thing is interesting that you mentioned that, because I was literally just thinking the very first aquarium I gave away,
Yeah.
the intention was for people to be kind to other people. Um, okay, so this was how I was like, how am I gonna get these aquariums to other people? And I was like, I know I'm gonna say, write me an email of someone you know who's deserving of this. You know,
Right.
whether it be your nephew, your son, your grandson, your uncle, whatever. All you need to do is send me an email telling me why somebody else, not for your own purposes, for someone else.
Right.
And I'll make sure this aquarium gets to them. You know, and I got zero emails. Not one person could look at the kids in their life, whether it be their neighbor or whatever, and say this child deserves something like that, or this guy with PTSD, or this elderly person. Not one
Hmm.
person could say something nice about somebody else. So that was discouraging too.
That's sad, bro.
Yeah, not one. I said, look, in a month from now, I'll make a decision. Not one email. I extended it. Not one email, and I was like, damn, people are that cynical that they can't say something nice about someone else so that
You know
that other
what?
person can receive a blessing. Nope, not
You know
one.
why?
Well, okay,
They're
go ahead,
thinking
Steve.
about themselves. It's
Probably.
entitlement. It's that
I don't
look.
know.
It's like this. It's like you're giving something away, and it's like, how am I thinking about somebody else getting it? I want it. You know
Probably.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's sad. I don't know. What do you think, George? You think differently?
Yeah,
What you got?
and I think it goes back to our society today,
Yeah.
and what I mean is, not too many people nowadays really interact face to face with other people.
Hmm.
We know people, through social media, but you really don't know them.
Right.
Very few times, those people that we communicate and we interact with, we know from what's being portrayed either on video or on over a conversation on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
but we've never really met the person. We don't know who they really are.
Right.
So it's hard to sometimes go on the limb on somebody because you really don't know them. I mean, you can't really speak for them if you've never had at least a conversation with that person and talked about whatever. Uh, I think that's why we're in a society nowadays where most of our interactions are just quick little one line texts that we send each other,
Right.
and it and is you hardly get that phone call where you get to talk to the person. You can tell a lot of by somebody's tone when they're speaking to you as to whether they're feeling happy, whether they're feeling sad, whether they're upset, depressed. I mean, being able to talk to hear somebody
Mm-hmm.
speak, you can pick up a lot. So,
Right.
but when you text or you chat or you do whatever, it's hard. It's hard to tell what's going on the other side of that text. So, I think that's why it's hard to when you were asking for somebody, and I I don't know. I think that's why there's probably a combination of both. What Steve was saying, maybe some people are just feeling selfish,
Yeah.
and others just don't know the person really.
I
Well,
think
I
I
wanted
think
to throw
Steve
something after you get through, Jay. It was
I
for
think
you, George.
I think Steve is a little bit more on point, because when I asked, I abandoned that whole, you know, um, do something nice for somebody else. I abandoned that because it was just too much for me, emotionally, to know that was not happening. It just really kind of it really ate at me that people couldn't do that. But
Mm-hmm.
once I went directly, that's when a couple people, selfish people, would pop out of the woodwork wanting
Right.
stuff that they could already afford. So Yeah, I think I hate to say it. I mean, it's sad, but I feel like Steve was a little, from my experiences. I'm not a social media whiz. I'm sure that somebody else who's good at social media could probably get the message out there to where it needs to go. I'm not that person, but in my experience, I felt like people who already had would be the ones that was out there with their hands out, and I
Well,
was like,
see, this is you just did two phenomenal things. The first thing you did was you demonstrated that you have a internal locus of control, which means that you take responsibility for the things going on around you rather than pushing them off on other people. Because you said maybe it's me, maybe it's the way I advocated. I'm not that adept at
yeah,
social media, blah blah blah. That's the first one. The second one goes back to you, Jorge, when you said something, and I think Fishy Biz said well put. Just because people are poor does not mean that they do not have pride. And it was going to what you had said previously, Jason, because I keep notes. You had said that the people would be like, well, if you can do it for free, why am I going to spend my money or like that? That's what you was running into.
yeah,
That ain't nothing but a microcosm of society on a larger scale because the majority of people who take handouts are entitled people who have been given everything. Hey man, if you sit in the house all day on the computer playing esports, getting your food prepared for you, you don't know how to work a washing machine, you can't vacuum, you can't do nothing. You're going to grow up with your views being molded and shaped that way. You're going to go to college. You don't have any life experience whatsoever. You feel entitled already. Then you go to college at this time in college and you get inoculated with all this stuff from society, which makes you more entitled because you're tender. You still lack life experience. Then you make poor choices thusly based on all that stuff you've been inoculated with. You then go to begin more entitled, and then you go applying, you get all the government programs, X, Y, and Z. So what has effectively happened is society has created a whole class of people who are entitled and dependent on the government. When you go and you turn on the TV and you see people protesting, hey boy, you don't see us protesting because we too damn busy at work, boy. We got bills to pay. We got people to feed. We got stuff to worry about. I can't I'm like, who did they call to get off work that day to go stand somewhere to protest something with a sign? Who are they accountable to? So it don't surprise me at all that you trying to give a fish tank away to help somebody on an emotional, sincere, genuine level and have greedy, entitled people saying, well, shit, if you can come over here, oh, and you're a pro too, and you're going to bring it to me. So, like, I digress from that. The question in that is, when you go looking for these people to pick, how do you vet out making another problem fun? Because if they already poor and they struggling, how you make sure that that fish tank you give them ain't
okay.
another bill? How
And
do you
that's
learn this
all
goatness,
right.
your knowledge in the hobby? Because
So that's another great question. Um, First of all, when I talk to them, not everybody should have an aquarium. That's just not everybody should have. But
mm-hmm,
when I speak to people and I tell them what I do, if they show interest, and I could tell that they're sincerely interested, and I
mm-hmm,
explain to them ahead of time. This conversation back and forth. I don't meet somebody and be like, "You're the one." No, there is some back and forth.
right,
And if, let's say for instance, if money's an issue, right? First of all, if I know that they can't afford food, well, we have a co-op down here. I could get a bag of food that's gonna last them a year. You know what I'm saying?
right, okay,
I can do an undergravel filter where all they have is a air pump. There's a lot of ways to cut the cost down. In fact, the filters that I give them, I tell them, don't, I'm getting rid of the charcoal. You don't need that because that's something else you have to buy. This particular one, the last one, she was not poor. Well, we're all poor to a point, but she could afford it. Her problem is every time she wanted to do this for her children, she went to the pet store and they kind of talked her out of it because they made it sound so much harder than what it is.
My. Like YouTube.
So, yeah, and YouTube is bad about that.
Yeah.
I gotta tell y'all, YouTubers out there, and I even say it in the video, be part of the problem, not the solution. I mean, be part of the solution, not the problem. Stop telling people all the stuff they can't do. Give them options, So this 10-gallon, because I could have went with a 20. I mean, legendary Florida man right over here, he's got downstairs, he's got a buttload of tanks that he would donate to my cause because he agrees with it too. Got 55s and 40s and stuff all over. But her case it wasn't that she didn't have the money. She just didn't have the money to put towards something that everybody was telling her she could not do.
Boom.
So I said, okay, we're going to go with a 10-gallon so that you can be successful at it. And then from there, you can go ahead. I just want to give a spark to people, just a spark. You know what I mean? I can't force these people into getting bigger tanks. But I can't, if they're not about it, they're not about it. But if I could just give them an inspiration to go further on their own, because like, look, if I get you to keep a fish alive, you might want to be an African cichlid guy. You might want to be a plant guy. You might want to do salt water. You might want to do, I don't know where you're going to go with this. You know what I'm saying? But it starts out with being able to keep a fish alive.
That's right.
And that's all I want to do is just give a spark to somebody, and maybe they go further and they become something more than what they thought they could have. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. No, bro, you pretty much nailed it, man. Jorge, I see you over there, bro. I see you over there marinating.
Yeah, no. What I wanted to ask is not necessarily. Oh well. Yeah. Anyway, what I wanted to ask, I know that you talk about giving them to like single parents or stuff like that, but that doesn't mean that that's the only category. No. I know you recently had a student that you helped out.
Yeah.
So it's just anybody that is in a situation where they could benefit from it. So tell us a little bit about that.
All right. So the student, which I'm really happy about because she was actually in college to become a marine biologist. I know I'm a freshwater channel, but she put it out there on Facebook that she needed help because she was about to go out to one of the I can't remember it's St. Eddie, St. Thomas, St. Croix, something like that. One of those islands out there where they have a really good program for marine biologists. The problem is getting equipment out there is difficult and expensive. So what she wanted to do, because she had cargo, a cargo container taking her stuff out there, she wanted a 20 long, and I, she could have been greedy. I said, look, I can get you a 40, I can get whatever you want. She was like, no, I just need a 20 long. And she's going to do her own personal research, according to her college curriculum.
Yeah.
And I was real happy about that. And she even hit me up, saying, all the stuff got here, no broken tanks, So, she's in the process of doing a biotope from the what are they called out there? The those islands, that general area, Caribbean. Yeah. But
the Antilles. The Antilles, the greater and the lesser Antilles.
Like Barbados and St. Thomas, all them places. I forget what island. But and she said everything got here. And she's doing it all biotope from the Caribbean Sea. So I was real happy about that. And I said, well, I know the school year hasn't started yet for you, but when it does, please give us an update. She was like, no problem. So it doesn't have to be a single mother. I just have an affinity for single mothers because I'm a product of one.
Right.
But anybody, like I said, anybody who could use it and it'll put some type of enhance their life at all, then they're eligible, in my opinion.
Have you reached out? You being a veteran, and us too. Have you reached out to any vets? You know,
Un-
you go to
un-
the.
Unfortunately, with my time schedule, I try to, but when you deal with VA, you're dealing with or any of those places, it's weird, right? These places aren't accustomed to people saying, "Hey, I want to give you this," you know. So they're accustomed to asking. They're not accustomed to people offering. So it's difficult because I've called up, for instance, orphanages, right? And I felt like, oh, well, call this I'm gonna send you to this person. I'm gonna say, and nobody really ever seems to be able to say I'm in charge of it, and I will go ahead and agree to what you want, because it's a strange thing, you know.
Yeah, they like
Not,
what you want. What liability does your act
yeah,
of
it
kindness
starts
come
getting
with?
into that, you know.
And
Well,
that's sad. That's where we're at,
and
though.
yeah, so it's very difficult. It's like a bureaucracy. So
Mm-hmm.
trying to do something like that with a bureaucracy who's not already asking for it seems to be a runaround. So I've kind of left it up to the cosmos and be like, I'm gonna go about my business. I'm gonna tell people what I do, and if I meet that person, then that's how I've been doing so far.
That's dope.
I wish somebody could do more. Oh, hold on, wait. I wish somebody could, maybe if somebody out there. Uh, okay, so so Casper, legendary Florida man, he actually is good at that stuff, and like I said, we do our separate thing, but little by little we've been talking about merging, and he's made some contacts, so we're gonna see what happens from there, which is
Yeah,
cool.
keep us posted on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So me and him are talking more about that. But like you said, we all have lives. You know, we can't necessarily drop what we got going on. He's a family man. He has a business to run. You know, so we're gonna make sure it's right. And if he comes up with a thing where I could jump on and do my part, then I definitely will be part of that. Maybe we just might merge it together. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But uh, I just,
You got to crawl for you walk. You'll be all right.
yeah.
You know,
If I had like it's either time or money, right? If
it's
you have
always
enough
both.
money, you don't
It's
need the time.
both.
If you have the time, you don't need the money. I don't have
Right.
either one. So
Right.
we'll see what happens. What's up, George?
Talking about money, I know you're doing this, but how do you fund this?
Right.
That's what I want to know.
All right.
How do you come up with the resources for this?
I cannot give enough props to my channel members.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot give enough props to those of you who watch my videos for the ad revenue. Honestly, whatever I get from that, of course, at this point, it's not like I can differentiate, you know, what money I get from YouTube into
Right.
what money I make and keep them separate. You know, they kind of merge. But I can tell you, without the ad revenue and the channel membership, it would be more difficult because I'd be taking more out of my pocket. Not to mention Consolidated Fish Farms.
Mm-hmm.
He provides the fish for free. So there's that. I got Funk. Are you and oh, you are. Yeah, and I don't know about that. But I appreciate it. Legend, like I said, I can't talk more enough about legendary Florida man. He's got tanks downstairs. He has never once denied me anything that I've asked for. He's actually offered more than I'm ready for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been through my channel members, sponsors, and that I can do this. And whatever I have laying around, just like you said, you know, we all have a bunch of stuff laying around.
Corey
So
Dorable, can you throw Aqua Funk's information in the chat so it can get shared out? And legendary Florida man too, because like the people need to know. Like, if you don't mind, throw it in the chat because I'm a vet. Jorge is a vet. You're a vet.
just
Y'all
say
went to
hello.
the wrong branch, but it's all good.
By the way, back
Really.
there, that's legendary
What's up,
Florida man right
G?
there. Great guy. A really good friend. I appreciate him. I appreciate you. And he's funny too.
What's going on?
So yeah, y'all support for real support. You know.
So this is a good opportunity, right? Our last stream, which was our second stream, we kind of left on a cliffhanger because we're going back to the basics.
Uh-huh.
And we're talking about the basic aquarium equipment you need, how to get started, X, Y, and Z. And then we came around to social media, i.e., Facebook, i.e., chat rooms, i.e., beginners taking the responsibility and doing the legwork first and knowing what questions to ask, having a rudimentary understanding of this kind of stuff. That way they know, because what are you doing? You're valuing people's time and you're valuing their experience in the hobby that you are petitioning for. Then it came to the occurrence that always happens, which is people getting crucified in chat rooms because you get people donning their capes because they got to be that glass box hero and they got to just like eat people alive. So, with that being said, the larger question on that cliffhanger going into this stream, the new question is this. Now that I've updated you, is tanking versus tubing. And let me set it up for you like this, Jason. I am the GOAT. I am a tanker.
Okay.
If it swims in a container, I can keep it alive. If it grows, I can keep it alive. YouTube, not necessarily my forte. I'm picky and I like to make good videos, so I only have a few. I'm also a very private individual, so what I do share has to be worth the people's time watching it. So I try to do my best and put something good out there. So how do you go to crawling for you walk, tanking versus tubing? Because I've seen people start on YouTube not knowing nothing about fish tanks. And they articulated that. They said, I don't know nothing about fish tanks. Then I've seen people who started their hobby on YouTube acting like they was Jacques Cousteau. Full cave dive certified and everything. They just dived in. Then you got people who their YouTube videos, you can see they're smart and they can work their way around the camera, but it's not their thing. But their tanks are amazing. And then you got the other one too. You know what I'm saying? They got amazing tanks and they figure it out because everything they touch is excellence because they piss it and they take off. So how do you feel about that whole thing? I know you over there. You ready? There's your
All right.
setup. Shoot.
So it's funny you mentioned that because oh man, that's a whole 8-hour stream right there.
We got on. It's holiday weekend, boy.
I don't have to go to work till 10 o'clock. So
We got a 96.
Yeah.
Let's go.
First of all, I want to tell everybody, for me, for me, YouTube is relative, right? I the way I got started, I don't know if Majestic Cichlids is in here.
That boy Eric.
He's a guy that I used to watch before I had my own channel because I related to him because he was Puerto Rican. He was from New York. I can hear it in his voice. Even though he didn't show his face, I could hear it in his voice. And his type of fish was what I was into. And I trusted him. I trusted what he said. Because when I watched him, I felt the how you call it. I felt the
You felt
passion in
the
his voice.
energy, yeah.
Then there was people that I watched, and as time went on, I realized, yo, this dude's full of it. Like he don't know what the hell he's talking about. But I didn't know that at first.
Let's go.
But as I learned, I was like, this guy's lying. And as a YouTuber, I know the tricks of the trade. So we was actually talking about a couple of YouTubers that just lie, flat out lie. Which, hey, I always say I'm never gonna knock nobody's hustle. You know, if they want to do a YouTube channel where all they care about is the views and they throw out clickbaits, or they, running around, buying up every fish every week. Hey, that's you. I couldn't live with myself knowing I was lying to somebody. I gotta look at myself in the mirror every morning, and if I don't like what I see because of what I'm doing, that's on me. If they can look at themselves in the mirror and do that, hey, more power to you. I ain't supporting you. I'm not gonna support you, but I'm not. If somebody asks me what I feel about this channel, I'll tell them. I'm not gonna openly go and start bashing nobody. But if you ask me, I'll tell you. That's just the type of person. I'll never say anything in private that I won't say in public either. But as far as the individual watching the YouTube, the best I can give advice is you got to take it with a grain of salt. This is just a snapshot of the hobby. Steve Warrior Planet Tanks, he's only showing you a snapshot of his home, of his experience. George is only showing you a snapshot of tanking in Yuma and what goes on across the border. I'm only showing you a snapshot of Aqua Funk. Right. At the end of the day, you gotta make the best decision for your aquarium. And if you have a YouTuber that you trust, then more, I'm glad for you. But you, regardless of what Aqua Funk says, regardless of what Steve says or George says, make your own decisions. Ain't nobody gonna be an expert on your tank more than you. Every tank is different. I can have a 10-gallon tank with an aqua clear and a LED light and this filter and this substrate with this fish. Here in my home, you can have one in your home. It ain't gonna be 100% the same. So the person out there looking for research, the best, and I gotta go back. I told Casper this. I'm not in it for the wet pet. I don't get emotional when fish die. I'm in it for the observing and going, oh, when this happens, that happens. And when I do this, that happens. This fish, it acts like this and that one acts like that. So you have to observe your own tank, study your own tank. If that brings you some amazement, interest, then you should have a fish tank. If you look at a fish and go, then maybe you shouldn't have a fish tank. That's just my thing. That's just how.
So yeah, there's a word for that. It's called science. All that observing and stuff.
Yeah, science. That's why. Yeah, all ology.
So that brings me to my next thing, right? It's one word: etiquette. So knowing that it's science, and your observations are yours, but it's science. Yeah. Jorge, your observations are yours, but it is science. Likewise for myself.
Yeah.
Where does etiquette come in to where you have a responsibility to tell the truth? And then like you euphemistically was like, that's just what kind of person I am. I'm going to tell you the truth. Yeah. And I'm going to go back to my saying, Jay. If you don't have love in your heart, you're not a good man. People always call me an asshole and a jerk, but they don't understand that I love you too much to BS you. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I'm coming from a place of love and responsibility. I'm not being a jerk. We can use our words. Hey, I love you enough to stick around after we get through fighting and we can go drink a beer and figure it out.
I had a friend of mine. I had a YouTuber friend of mine, and we don't really associate anymore because he had his own idea of how a person should live their life, and if another person did not live their life according to that his particular expectations for himself, he
Right.
cut them off.
Okay.
Um, we all have things that we can do live with and all things we can't live with. There are
Right.
things that I see people do all the time that I cannot abide by. Like I can't live that way in my life. But that's their life. You know what I'm saying? We all have the etiquette, personal responsibility, all that. That's up for that individual to decide what they can live with. Langdon Hughes, he's got a poem that I put up every once in a while, um, about a person, you know, digging their own life and respecting others, and
Right.
that's just how they're gonna live their life. But not expect other people's views to be pushed on me. Um, so I respect everybody to a point as to what they do. Um, but I respect that that's their choice.
Right. There you
I don't
go.
agree, I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to like it, but I can't do nothing about it. So all I could do is me. I only could do me. I only could control Aqua Funk. That's it. That's it. Um, if I don't like what somebody else is doing, because I don't feel like they taking personal responsibility, I just won't support them.
Hey,
That's it.
there, legendary Florida man killing it in the comments. Exactly what you just said. I just won't support him.
Yep.
Here your boy. He's saying, knowing what level of science you at and speaking your knowledge and not over it. And that's probably the most disheartening thing to me. And I'll spaz out, bro. Like you know it. I'm like I hit the ceiling, bro. Cause I'm just like, why? Hey, G. At the end of the day, bro, if you just like be genuine and come at me, bro, I'm gonna respect you more. Like I respect that. But like at the end of the day, like me, I see through BS quite clearly because like that's just a survival tactic from being tossed around as a kid. You got to learn how to read a room quick. Like my thermometer is very calibrated when it comes to reading the temperature of social interactions. You know what I'm saying? So like how you have to know, stay in your lane is the best way. Like what this
Yeah.
comment that's on the screen right now, staying in your lane. Like if you stay in your lane, it's usually less traffic that way. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And then like that responsibility of saying, hey man, yes, I know that I got a 3 gallon bowl and it's got 10 neon tetras in it and some expensive caradina shrimp and this and this and this, neo caradinas, I'm sorry. Blah, blah, blah. But I also have a very intimate understanding of biological processes and the concepts of them and how they work. I see you, boy.
That's legendary Florida man. That's not me. That's legendary Florida man.
I see you. And see that's another thing, right? And so it's
Yeah.
like inspiration is inspiration, but it's like when people cause like YouTube, we own this. And this gonna be our cliffhanger for today, y'all.
Okay.
Being inspired, right? Or like what I see a lot of, because like psychology fascinates me. What I see is a person will see somebody else doing something, and because of a subconscious inferiority complex, they go and they do the same thing. And Like, where do you draw the line? Like, where do you differentiate inspiration versus copying? And like literal to the sense of like I got this inferiority complex to where damn, if he can do it, I know I damn sure can do it. And then they go do it. And like me, I'm gonna just shoot it. I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you, Jay. I love you. Peep game. I know my nuances. You understand? So like everybody knows their own stink. You know your own
Yeah,
brand. You know the
yeah,
subtle nuances. And then like the inferiority complex, what it does, like on a Freudian level, is the people focus more on the nuances than the action. And that's what rats them out. You see, that's what tells on them. Because everybody has their own fingerprint, bro. You got your own one. And then you're gonna leave it there on everything you do. So like, how do you differentiate that? Because at the end of the day, it's about growth. And I think that growth is like egregiously retarded and stunted when these complexes interfere with something that we all love to do and share. You see what I'm saying? Like everything I do, I cite my sources. I let people know if it's my intellectual body of work or if it's somebody else's. And in doing so, what that does is it keeps me balanced. Like, check yourself before you wreck yourself. What a great song. Remember when
yeah,
rap used to say something like
yeah.
that? You know, and I do it on purpose. And in doing that, it molds me and shapes me. And I like to be a more balanced, humbled person, operating in gratitude as my main form of currency. So where you stand on that, Jay? And then I want to see what you say too, Jorge, because I
All
see
right.
you fighting, bro.
In fact, George, you want to say something on that?
I don't know. It's just I think God, you got me in a. I, it's just the. How do I want to put this?
I know Steve always coming up with stuff that make you think, man. There ain't nobody
Legendary
watching
Fluid
YouTube
Man
trying
said
to
it's
think.
called integrity.
That's why they
That
watch
boy said
YouTube, so they don't
integrity.
think.
Integrity.
I can real fast. The only thing I have to say about that real fast is the people who do the things that you're talking about, taking other people's stuff, acting like it's their own. I can see through it. I'm 46. I lived a good life. I lived a full life. Even at 46,
Mm-hmm.
I've been on YouTube for 4 years, so I've kind of seen a lot of different stuff. I'm not everything, but I've seen a lot of stuff. Um, the people, if you have my phone number, I don't consider you one of them people. If you don't have my phone number, I'm not saying you one of them people, but if you are one of them people, I'll never associate you with
That's a
you.
damn
You will
shame. You
never
got to
have
give
my
a
phone number.
disclaimer like that for grown ass people.
Yeah, that's just
That's a
that I
shame.
try and keep that. Look, I got enough BS in my life with real life.
Fancy
I
Moss,
don't
bro.
need
You
I
good
don't
on
need
the
it.
FPM
I
family.
don't need to invite it from somebody that I'm never gonna see. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
So that's all I have to really say about that subject.
Jorge.
No, I think when it all boils down to is you got to be honest. If you're not honest with what you're doing, um, it's just it's gonna come out eventually.
Yeah,
And when it does, it's not gonna be a good look.
Right.
Um, there's nothing more disappointing than following somebody because you think you know that what they're doing or that it's their own work and even though this community is relatively large, it's not that big where stuff doesn't get around and you find out what's really happening. And I can kind of speak to that a little bit because now that I've kind of been let behind the curtain,
Mm-hmm.
you start seeing some things and you go, ah, man, that's so disappointing. That is so disappointing because what you had in mind of a particular person gets, unveiled.
Distorted.
It gets unveiled, and you're
Oh
going,
man.
wow, I would have never have guessed that. I didn't realize that's what was going on. So that's what I'm saying. If like Legendary said, if you don't have integrity or you're not honest, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. People will find out, and it's not something that necessarily is going to get exposed on YouTube because a lot of the stuff that we get privy to is in confidence. But it is disheartening. You start looking at things and all of a sudden you start putting one and two together and you go, oh, that's
Mhm.
what it is.
Hey,
Yeah.
can I give you your subject? Whoever you
Yeah.
have next time
No, oh,
on
go ahead.
your live stream, I would love for you guys to talk about the reality of being in the chat and not having a channel to being backstage and finding out, hold up, this person does what? This is like all the little nitty gritty gossip that, because look, if
Yeah.
you guys don't know, and by the way, I did see Zen Ginger. I appreciate Zen Ginger so
See,
much.
look at
Um,
I was
but
looking at that.
but if you guys don't know, which by the way, real fast, go check out Rojo's. He has a really how's that last name go, Rojo? But the Rojo's
Aqua Luna.
Aqua Luna.
Yeah.
Luna.
Yeah, there's a
He's
few more people in the chat.
he's looking into really growing his channel, so please support. He's asking me questions on how to make his channel better for you guys, to be more interesting for you guys. So check him out and see how he do. But yeah, the behind the scene stuff. I would love for you guys. That's a whole bunch of time. I don't even want to get into that. Because but the next person you have up there, you should talk about that. You should talk about that.
No,
Behind the
Well,
scenes of
that
YouTube.
go
The
ahead.
curtain,
I know
the
Steve and
curtain.
I
Pull back the
that really
curtain on YouTube.
that would really tie into that whole topic that Steve had kind of alluded for the cliffhanger versus
Right.
fish keepers versus content creators. And
Yeah.
that yeah, there's
That's a sneaky leak for y'all, by the way. Be on the lookout for that.
so
Yes, I
it
seen
is
something here.
it it is an interesting and it kind of in a way is a little bit disheartening. Um, but it is what
Then
it
you
is.
realize these people are human.
Hey,
Well,
hey, there you
not that I
go.
never thought, not that
That's
I
what I
never
was
thought
just
they were
about to
human.
say.
No, not that I never thought they were human. It's
But
just
you know what I'm talking about. They
yeah,
weren't what you thought they
Yeah.
were.
yeah.
You
You
see?
you were under the impression that they knew what they were doing, that they were putting out good information, that they had the community in their best interest,
Yeah. And you
and
find
really
out.
trying to help. But you come to find out that
Hmm.
that's not always the case.
See? Look, Big Tank Hank has said it in the comments down there. I always watch them twice and
Yeah.
then speak once. And it is sound logic if you think about it, because unfortunately, everybody don't have a thermometer. Like me, I can look at a YouTube video about fish tanks, and I'm like, boy, I'm my mama's son, boy. You better get away from me with that bullshit. And I'm just laughing. And I'll be like, no, boy, stop. Me, I don't trip on the fact that I got a low sub count because people appreciate my videos, because it's a catalog of my projects and it's to help poor people. Not necessarily poor people, but I'm just really dispelling the myths
Yeah.
about fish tanking, that hey, you can keep high quality, high caliber stuff, and you ain't got to do all the stuff that these insignificant people get on YouTube and try to make themselves feel significant about. You know what I'm saying? Like I do competition tanks too. I have competed. You have seen them. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it ain't even about the cap. We was talking about that the other day, being growing up in the 80s and the 90s, of what was socially acceptable when we was kids versus what's socially acceptable for now. And the problem is our vernacular. Our vernacular is different, to where it's the same actions transpiring. We just called it different, less politically correct things when we was growing up. You know, showing off wasn't called showing off back then. Or what do they call showing off now? What is it, capping? Or what's the other one? I see, like, the vernacular different.
Yeah, yeah.
So
We all old heads in here. We don't know the young stuff.
yeah,
It's too hard. It's too hard to keep up with all the.
exactly. So I just stay away from it.
Yeah.
You know. So that's here's the thing for you to marinate on. It was actually in the notes, and I want to put it out there. Peep game. Oh, shout out to Jeff Watts real quick. Thank you for jumping in. If I didn't shout you out, because we try to shout out everybody, we ain't even tripping. Appreciate you for stopping by. Here's your thing. You brought up Majestic Cichlids. And I gave Majestic Cichlids, his name is Eric, and affectionately by me, the homie Eric. If I call you the homie, that's what it is. I'm affectionately showing you respect. So he been around for a minute. I've been watching him. Jason said that was his first, person that got him serious about it. He mentioned him to me like a long time ago. I was like, yeah, bro. And we brought up something back then. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up now. Yes, you can get scared. Why is it that somebody like the homie Eric over at Majestic Cichlids can do?
No.
Wait. Let me get it out because you already know. We have talked about this.
Yeah.
The question is, Eric is the example. Y'all go watch Majestic Cichlids and you will understand the question your damn self. But here's the question. And I'm going to say it the way I have it written.
Mm-hmm.
Why people don't see your shit? Why?
Yeah. Look, man, I'm going to tell you. Why you got...
FPM fam, stand up. Already. Stand like why? This dude, and here's the thing. He does everything right. If there was a formula to showing aquariums, wait, let me say it right. Because I'm going to be responsible and I'm going to take the time to do it. If you want to hear it, then stick around. If there was a formula to filming gallery-inspired, aquascaped, aquatic works of art, paying homage to Takashi Amano, because I am a disciple, proud to say it. If there was a formula to doing that, which there is, because you can see all those people who are very successful in it, and their tanks are fucking mediocre, might I add. This is our channel.
Yeah.
Why? If this gentleman is doing the formula to the T, I've seen people copy stuff that he'd innovated. If he's doing the formula, the question is, and he's just the example, y'all. There's a plethora of them out there. I'm educated as well, despite my crude language. I apologize if there's children watching. But no, they watch worse stuff. The internet is real. Trust me. Like, they're going to learn something here at least. Why don't people see your shit? There you go. There's a question for the cliffhanger. Expound on it.
Here's what I don't understand. You have somebody like Eric who is putting, like you said, quality work out there.
Quality.
And this is where kind of I'm perplexed with the community. Because at the end of the day, we're all keeping fish, right? And we're all striving to reach a certain goal within our limits. That's
right.
Inspiring. And I trust me, his channel is very inspiring to me. But then you have other people in the community that'll come out with something that is, you can call it fish related, but it blows up. And that's the part that just I don't understand, because at the end of the day, we're trying to educate people and inspire people in the hobby, and then you get some I guess you could call it cute, and that blows up. That's the part that I can't figure out. Yes, Jason.
All right, so me and Biz and Jay Watts and Steve, we've talked about this similar subject. And this is why I keep saying I'm never gonna knock nobody's hustle. I can create a video doing whatever I want to do. YouTube is not gonna promote it unless the viewers watch it. So
That's right.
the best way to support the people you think is true is to watch it, share, leave a comment, leave a like. And the best way to get rid of these trash channels is not to watch them. YouTube will not promote something that nobody wants. YouTube is all about keeping your face, your eyes in YouTube. And if your channel can keep people stuck on YouTube, then that's what they're going to show. So it's not the fault of the creator so much as it is the fault of the watchers. So the same people who go, you see this channel, it sucks. He did this, he did this, he did this, he did this. That's because you watched the whole damn video. And guess what? YouTube is going to go, oh, he must have liked it. Let's go ahead and show it some more.
Right.
Stop watching these channels. Stop it.
Right.
And that's why these people that can lie and make all these BS videos, that's why they get noticed, because everybody's watching them just to complain about it.
Yeah.
So stop watching them.
Well, here's what I'm getting at, and I guess in a way I am calling out the community, because as much as you can go out and support that content that was created on whatever it is, why can't you turn around and support somebody like Eric, somebody who's spending quality, is putting every effort to put out these really high production videos. I'm just saying Eric, because
he's the
example. He is the example. There's plenty of them out there, y'all.
Yeah, there's tons of them out there, but that's what I don't understand. How
we give
how everybody could rally again on one thing, but they can't do it all the way across. That's the part that now that I'm here is kind of like, wow, I know they call it a fish fam, but it's sometimes it doesn't feel like it. Sometimes you don't see the love going to areas where it should. I'm
gonna put it to you like this, and it'll resonate with all three of y'all and some of y'all watching. I'm gonna put it to you like this: until you sit in front of a computer waiting for a video to render and upload to YouTube, only to have the lights go out or the computer crash or whatever, to re-upload it again, and you put production into it. You went to Best Buy and spent money on gear. You did everything like you thought you were supposed to do. And then you slap your video up, or you post your video, I should say, and then grillos, crickets, for y'all that don't speak Spanish. Just like that. Just like that. See what I'm saying? Like, you don't understand it until you watch and you see, like, damn, boy, he did that. Oh, damn. You can tell who the jump cut king and queens is. You know who really understand editing equipment. You know who spent money on the editing. That's fine too. But you know who is putting some. It's the 4th of July weekend, so military slang, some give a shit into the work. Pride. We every stream we articulate about pride. Like, I can look at somebody's tank and it might not have like all the new bells and whistles and the sea this and fluted lily pipes and blah, 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 because they ain't got bread like that. But it's pridefully done. It's clean. It's well thought of. The fish happy. More importantly, they look good. So how you feel about that?
Oh man,
somewhere, man.
I would love to get into that, man, but I'm cutting it close on having to go soon.
Okay,
man.
You can appreciate that.
Steve. We can't just talk about subjects. They turn into.
It's a cliffhanger. That's why it's
epic sagas. I don't even know where to go without getting too hyped, and I really don't want to get too hyped because this you're starting to hit triggers on me now. But yeah, I gotta roll soon, and like I said, we're gonna have to come write down that question and have me on again, and we're gonna start off the stream where we ending it. But yeah, that's a you I can't mess with Steve, man. He had me out here yelling at people.
What's the question? Why people don't see your shit? Somebody clip it for me and make
Zen Ginger been saying some. I've been watching a little bit. Zen
Ginger is an OG.
Yes, she is.
YouTube fish community, and she a Houstonian H-Town stand up. You know,
she put a comment on there. She put a comment that kind of explains what I'm talking about. My answer. That's the best. That's the best one I could do without getting too hyped up. Yeah.
What is it? We gotta know.
Right there.
Yeah, it says I think in the YouTube format, most people are unfortunately not looking for learning. They're looking for entertainment and social interaction. So people don't
doing the real work.
Yeah, really lose out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I know.
Yeah, I understand
self-promoting is pretty big. Self-promoting is pretty big. But the thing is, as much as self-promoting is a good thing,
etiquette.
But I think it also falls upon us, because especially anybody who is a content creator knows that it's real easy. All you got to do is go over there, hit the like, subscribe, and share it, and it doesn't cost anything. And I know not everybody likes to talk about what they do, but I mean, us as viewers, it's our responsibility to help them grow too, though.
That's right.
So we have to assume some responsibility in that. But that's what it is. But Jason does have to go. And Jason, I really want to thank you very much for being here, for being our first guest. To me, it's very special that you are, because without you, I wouldn't be here right now. As far as you being my champion and helping me out and giving me advice. And that's what I mean. So, thank you for that. And I know I'm not the only one. And
say that again, Jorge.
I know I'm not the only one that he supports and helps.
Nah, the champion part.
Oh,
because
yeah.
we say that. People get like this channel, FPM, Fish Planting Moss. My name ain't Warrior Planting Tanks for a reason. Go watch my videos. I did a whole thing explaining what the name entails of. But being somebody's champion, right? That's people's champ, bro. Like, it's lonely at the top. I don't care. I'm the GOAT. That's what it is. Or hey, you're a champion.
Look,
thank you, Jason, for being his.
I just care about individuals. If you're an individual and I like what you're doing, just like Steve, just like what you was doing, bringing what you've learned here in the States, taking it across the border. If you're doing something special, I'm Steve, he's special to me because he breaks the stereotype, in my opinion. You're special to me because you were doing something big, something more than just, trying to start something across the border. So that I'm interested in those. Those are the people I want to watch. So if I can encourage them, then cool. It's more self-serving than anything else. Right. I want to watch what you got going on more than I don't know. That's just me. But I appreciate you having me on for your first guest. I really do.
No.
Already. Jorge Aquascapes, you know that, right? Like, if you look at his tanks, he's like the Latino aquascaper, bro. Like, you could imagine, like, graffiti, like on one of them badass murals, but it's art. Those people get, like, they get, like, bands, bro. They get hundreds of thousands of dollars commissions to do those, bro.
The Latino aquascaper here is
you'll see his themes. I called him out on it. He laughs because it's the truth. He, like, all of his tanks have scenes in them. And it's dope. And the way he sources, y'all gotta go watch his channel. Go check out Mexicali Fish Keeper, bro. Like, go see where he sources his hardscape, the whole thing. Like, it's dope. The only thing missing is freaking nothing.
So,
All right. Well,
so,
I'm gonna
Yeah,
let you jump off, Jay. We'll
all right,
still be here. Thank you very much.
thank
I
you.
appreciate you taking time out of your day to be here with us.
no
That's
problem. All
Peace
right,
very
out,
much.
homie.
later, y'all.
All right, homie.
All right. So we're getting close to our time limit. Is there anything else? Well, I do. I wanted to say something, and
Got it.
and it's just because we haven't acknowledged this person, and that's Corridor Bocali Aquarium. I want to say thank you very much. She's our mod, and she's also been another champion that we've had for our
Yep.
channel. She helps us promote on Instagram. She goes above and beyond what she really needs to be going to help us out. I want to say thank you, and I want to say it publicly because I want people to know all the work that you're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
as anybody that's mod for anybody else knows how difficult this work can be, and it's not being you're not getting compensated for any of this. So to
Right.
me, thank you very much for taking time out of your day. Thank you for supporting us, and that's all I really wanted to say
Yeah.
on that. So anything you want to add on closing, Steve?
Yeah, no, thanks, Jess, for not making me look like a terrible choice of character for spot promoting you the other day. So, yeah, no, like being a mod, it is unappreciated, but no, it's dope. And it's your tanks. Like, you elite, underappreciated, you fit the bill, you belong. So, that's why, you know, and you support us. George said it. Like at the end of the day, we got to make ourselves relevant. If we don't support each other, ain't nobody else gonna do it. And I have an internal locus of control, just like Jorge. I ain't gonna blame it on nobody else. What can I do? What can I do differently? People, y'all know what it is. Looking for the same outcome while doing the same thing. Insanity, that whole spiel. But that's all I got. Hey, y'all think about that cliffhanger. Thank you guys for joining us on what has been an exciting stream. I really appreciate the interaction. Thank everybody that stopped by. And with that, y'all have a great 4th of July weekend. And Jorge, go ahead and take us home, bro. Love you
All right.
guys.
See you. Thank
All
you.
right.